We got ourselves Team 1 together with Kreisbad, still trying out that Affliction versus Arthas first up. Arthas versus Kreisbad. Ooh, what if Arthas, seeing Kreisbad, is like, you are the man who set up Strathome for its doom. You are the necromancer. And he's like, I never even met you. I am literally from another planet. And it's like, this entire Warlock must be purged. On Team 2, we also got ourselves Zuni. We got ourselves the man himself, Arthas, going in for a Hodge versus Kreisbad. And Kreisbad actually swapping out his pet immediately as big damage coming out for us. Oh, those hammers just flew at Kajix. He just decided to select him instead of anybody else. Just a bunch of hammers started flying to him instead of anybody else. Big old Mortal Coil by Kreisbad, swapping out Mortal Coil for the AoE Fear and is playing the slow legendary. So I don't know if he was playing the slow legendary last time, but he decided to play it against Arthas. I don't know if Kreisbad was playing that Go last time he was dueling as Afi. But that's the legendary is getting a pretty big nerf in 9.1, so we'll see if Affliction Warlocks will swap out to a different leg altogether. Maybe something more aggressive. But with a corruption legendary, if anything, you can kite out the enemy. The extra corruption damage is also pretty good. I think that leg might still be good just for damage alone. And for classes like a paladin, like, you can still hit him with a curse of weakness and it'll basically be constantly there. Hell, in fact, curse of weakness, isn't that like can't you make a curse of weakness a 70% slow with an honor talent? You probably can, right? A 70% slow is better than a 60% slow. Reflect is up, but Kreisbad, Arthas having to go and trinket it with the human racial, and Kreisbad sends him out with a Mortal Coil of Fear, loading over dots. Bubble up really early for Arthas, as Kreisbad looking to hang out by the wall into a port. Just trying to make sure he's nearby the port at all times. Big gateway available for him. And Arthas gonna hit with that slow from the corruption immediately with a drain life right after. Has himself Hand of Freedom, but the corruption still is gonna keep ticking on him. This is going to be a full damage setup by Kreisbad, trying to go for Malefic Rapture spam, does bust through the Shield of Vengeance of Arthas, big drain available, does port on top of him with the Mortal Coil, does have the line design for that Malefic Rapture, might be able to do something here, and Arthas actually has nothing left out in the open, Darkglade joining the fight, Arthas had no health at all, got himself Ward of Glory, that's going to be sent onto the Darkglade, does go for a Battle Master Trinket, big drain again for Kreisbad. And Arthas got himself plenty of self-heals, but unless Kreisbad can interrupt him, then he's in a great spot. That's going to be Kreisbad popping on the Sippy Cup from the Kyrian. Stone into Kreisbad, trying to make some damage happen. Going to be big hammers coming out, and Kreisbad porting the hell out as Arthas dips down super low, but with the wings as well as Word of Glory, healing heads on a town. He is able to recover quite a lot, actually all of that damage when you think about it. That is actually too much. Now, Palinka did say that he thinks that classes like a Paladin, for example, the healing that they have is way too much. So right now, well, if you're a Paladin, or Enhancement Shaman for that matter, or Druid, enjoy the amount of self-healings you have, because that might not be the same going next patch. Going to be Malefic Rapture spam by Kreisbad. I think he has it right here. It does end up taking him out. He had full soul shards ready to go, just spamming out, dude. Just spamming it all out. Well done, well done. Atherman is going to be next one, dude. From one paladin to the next. Man, they're really throwing all these palads. Going to get the corruption rolling early into Atha. With a bunch of fears as well. Making sure Atha is super far away. Hitting him with a Shadow Bolt since there's nothing else to really do. Man. It's because of Josh and slow weakness. It is 20% in between attacks. I guess he could have Curse of Slow and... No, he can only have one. I would imagine it's Curse of Exhaustion he would put up. 70% slow. Interrupted to Atho and Shadow. Atho is able to go for Flash of Lights, the Paladin dipping into the Shadow Tree for just a moment. That's what shows the Vent their Covenant. Which does give him mobility, but also does give him an ability that can be interrupted at Shadow. So if you get interrupted on it, you still have access to your holy spells. Kreisbad trinketing as he sees full cooldown to the Atho. Big reg, big wings, no Seraphim to combo off it, and looks like a blind by Athoman missed by a hair as Kreisbad had the big old port available to get away from Atho with that soul shape. Big drain out for Kreisbad, trying to go for the Shadow of Fury, slamming Athoman down, has all those dots rolling. Atho does human racial out of the stun. That's going to be Mortal Coil into a Fear. Malefic Rapture spam is up. Athoman how to bubble this. Actually super low in health. Big drain life available. Athoman does not have rebuke for it. Taking still a ton of damage from those dots. And Kreisbad is willing to just rot him out this whole game. Atho having to use all his holy power just to give himself whatever healing he can. Trying to get interrupted by Kreisbad. Did he get interrupted on it? Did he juke it? I think he might have juked the heal. I mean, the interrupt. Big port for Kreisbad. And Athoman finally made... Oh no, I think he still didn't. I don't think he did. I think he's trying to see if he can juke him out now. Because we can't track the pet interrupt unless he has the actual pet. And Kreisbad having to walk out of that ash, and Atha trying to deny Kreisbad any opportunity to get any kind of positional advantage here. Stun onto Kreisbad. Big final reckonings are coming down. More to call into Atha though, as Kreisbad should be able to fear Atham in a way. Sorry if I'm swapping to wrong person. I can't messing it up, dude. I'm so sorry. Big doorway shadows does get a trap to Kreisbad. This gonna get a dark lair into Stun into Atha. Big malefic raptures. Bubble comes out for the paladin. Does it stay in the action? Does he go for the heals? 7% damage, but he might want to be looking at the self-healing ASAP. Kreisbad does go for a big reset. Door shadows onto Kreisbad allows Atha a little bit of CC onto Kreisbad as well as getting some re-heals. And Kreisbad jukes out of there immediately. Atha tried to see if he could turn attention onto the dark lair. Wasn't quite enough. And Atha now out of a bubble. Shield event is coming back very, very soon. Wings are back up. It looks like maybe a proc for wings or maybe real wings. Mortal Call sending him at Kreisbad, but the fear running him into a wall. Kreisbad loading him up full of dots. Does he have the big go here? I think he might go for a fear again. There he goes. Malefic Rapture maybe. Athaman is just way too close to him. That can make some damage happen. Athaman does have final wreck available. Reflect is up for Kreisbad. Does go for a blind. That's going to be full wing setup for Atha. And Kreisbad bails out of there immediately. Is Athaman not playing Seraphim this go? I don't think he is. I don't think I've seen him play Seraphim so far. Wings is still rolling. Still might have a stun available, right? There goes the stun. Kreisbad no way out of it. Athaman does not activate Seraphim. I think he's just playing something different. Kreisbad taking a bit of damage though. Kind of bad for him. Does go for a Battle Master Trinket as well as a Health Stone. Stun onto Atha. Loading him full of dots with a Mortal Call right after. Try to see if he can make this Malefic Raptures work. And might just be enough right here. Right before the Awaken slab Atha. He does dip behind the pillar. The dots are putting pressure on him. The Grimoire of Sacrifice is getting those procs. The constant sustained damage is pretty real. Kreisbad does go and interrupt Athaman, locking him out on Shadow, fearing him so he doesn't go for a free heal. And trying to maintain the dots onto Atha with a big drain. Does Atha have enough to survive this drain? He does have flash of lights. Barely surviving this dot damage though. It is starting to rot. Shield of Vengeance available is going to give him that shield, hoping to maybe get that shield to pop next to Kreisbad, but the fear runs him in the opposite direction. Hand of Freedom gives Athaman the ability to at least catch up to his target. Shield of Vengeance is going to pop away from Kreisbad. Big gateway for the Warlock. Atha is taking that as advantage to catch a reset. Get himself a little bit of healing back and forth. Door Shadows does get interrupted. Athaman out in the open. More dots get loaded up. Does go for Royal Glory in between. Going to be the Human Racial out of that stun. Going to be a couple of Malefic Raptures with a Drain Life onto Atha. Not enough of a Drain Life stacks to make the damage happen here. And Atha is able to maintain himself just by a hair. His health isn't really going up at this point much, but he's able to maintain himself. No mana whatsoever. Athaman tried to see if he can load in. Zoning in. Honing in on Kreisbad as he's going to hit him with the Mortal Call. Dots, it might be enough. Malefic Rapture is going to bust out his shield. Stun onto Kreisbad. Oh, and Athaman, dude. As the wings come up, the Battle Master Trinket falls off. Kreisbad didn't even overreact. Didn't trinket. Didn't wall. Nothing. He actually, it's almost like he planned it. But this man is just taking paladins to town. What's next? Is it going to be one of the druids, Mayiwashi? Is it going to be the resident boomi Zuni? Is it maybe Kid Cat? It looks like it is going to be Iwashi. I think Iwashi is going to give Kreisbad a little bit of a run for his money though. Because he knows how to put his money where his mouth is. Going to be a succubus you see immediately. So at least Kreisbad will be able to get the opener onto Iwashi. And Kreisbad walking his duel with basically every cooldown except for Dark Glare. So he actually might be an okay spot. Iwashi just try to get some damage onto the pet. Get some calm points, maybe get a CC set up onto Kreisbad. No succubus CC. Immediate trinket for your Kreisbad. Force and trinket on Iwashi with advantage for Iwashi afterwards. Try just to get some dots onto Kreisbad. And the Warlock is taking a bit of a beating right now. Might the wall, his Battle Master Trinket is getting used here. Try to Shadow Fear with wall rolling and get some dots rolling onto Iwashi. Most likely going to be a cloak out of the rogue. There goes the cloak. Unless Kreisbad has really an answer here, does have the gateway to at least separate himself away from Iwashi. And that's going to be a flesh scout for the rogue as he's recovering quite a bit. And Kreisbad needs to get an answer for Iwashi. Trying to go for succubus CC. Is that going to be enough though? So Iwashi does go for a smoke bomb, trying to avoid the succubus CC. Getting the shot, no way out of it. I think it's just done. Iwashi just not really giving him much of an opportunity. Biz trying to get in the duel. Trying not to let Iwashi get himself a bit of reset. He's messing with him at this point. He doesn't want to let this rogue get a reset at all. He doesn't want to do it. He's trying to knock this guy out of the park. Big Seraphim, everything available. Trying to go for a big old wreck. Hammer coming down. Maybe a blind right after. Blind onto Biz. Does he trick it out of it? Does he go to blind Iwashi? He might want to get his shot. Does Iwashi have a reset? Does he have a shot of melt? He might be able to. Maybe. Just trying to make some damage happen onto Biz. Shield of Venice is up for the paladin. Paladin hasn't popped wings at all, so he's actually waiting, saving that for later, I guess. Trying to get the big hammer drops on Iwashi. He just has him on the ropes. Unless Iwashi has a reset, it's just over. Maybe Iwashi has the combo points for a Kindle shot. If Biz isn't careful, Iwashi gets a reset. And this is where Biz should have been maybe a little bit more aggressive. Maybe he's trying to play with his food a little bit. Maybe he's trying to actually have a bit of a game with the guy. You never really know. But Iwashi does get himself a bit of a reset. Eyes are up for the arena, so we should be A-okay. But you're alright, boys. Gonna be Iwashi resetting himself behind the pillar. Does he have the the talent for Student Darkness? It looks like he does. He's just recovering health very, very passively. Very, very passively. Biz looking for Iwashi, but so far have both of the eyes been used? One of the eyes is still up if he wants to pick it up. He has the opportunity to do it. But the question is he gonna? Iwashi roaming out in the open now. Feeling pretty confident. Does have Shadow Blades coming up very, very soon. Defense is rolling. So you could get a decent opener versus Biz. Cold Blood opened up. Blessing Protection for Biz immediately. Stunned. Iwashi does force a stricken out of him. Gonna be a Shadow Meld immediately. Yeah, you're just waiting now for the chill to vanish. No, dude! Shadow melted into a vanish. If you watch it, would just want to move to the side a little bit. Maybe he just couldn't resell. Maybe he couldn't re-stealth for some reason. He wasn't Shadow Meld. But maybe something kept him in combat so he couldn't properly restore, so he stood still. That is interesting. But Iwashi did burn himself a vanish for that one. Tried to see if he could get a stun interrupt onto Biz. Didn't quite do it. Biz actually juked it. I don't think Biz even expected to juke it, but he did. Bubble up for the Pala. Does he have the Hodge for Iwashi? As a rogue looking to get the hell out of dodge. Does have evasion rolling, so maybe Biz's damage might not completely go through to Iwashi. This is going to be tricky. Flash Gift interrupted. And looks like he just slammed the hammers onto Iwashi. Has evasion still for a bit. But those hammers are just going through. And that's going to be Shadow Step for a second. Does get a Kennedy shot into Biz. Does he get a reset? He's trying to go slash wave. He's trying to BM it. Oh my god. Actually, with 1 health left, and he BM slash wave and got the hell out of there. How does that happen? Iwachi's just going to have himself another go. This rogue actually reset the full thing. Okay. Cheap shot by Iwashi. Cold Blood back up and running. Does have the spike onto Biz. No more defenses available for Biz except for Shield of Vengeance. Unless Biz locks down Iwashi right now, it's over. Because Iwashi is going to get himself another reset. Wait out Shield of Vengeance. Go for another reset. With those spikes, he's got himself plenty of easy damage. Does lock out Biz. Shield of Vengeance does pop back at him. Biz trying to get counter aggressive here just a little. Wings are up with a Hodge proc. Blind onto Iwashi. He is in stealth, but he is blinded. Unable to do damage to Biz. Is going to land him in the sap though. Biz still has full wings. Is he DR'd? I think he's not oh, he's not DR'd. I think it's over. Iwashi is going to be able to take it down. Man, dude. He had himself like a really go versus Iwashi. I think in the open, he hodged him with Seraphim and everything, but he didn't pop wings with it. If he did, that would have been over. That would have been game. Iwashi landing on open onto Arhi. Big, aggressive opener. Kindle shot, cheap shot to follow. Lots of eviscerates back to back with a blind right after as Arhi does go for Battlemaster's Trinket. Before he even gets a chance, man. And Iwashi walks by, hits him with a big old love tap. And bows out of there for a moment until these DRs are down. Arhi, does he pop a trinket here? Or a blood vessel for that matter? Going to be a Shadow Strike. No Kidney Shot in the opener. Arhi at least got himself a bit of a healing totem. And that's going to be Ghostwoods up and running. Ghostwoods will not attack Iwashi immediately though. Which is very, very unfortunate. Kidney Shot. Wolves! Please, puppies! You're seeing your shaman dying to a rogue. Please at least bite the rogue or something. Anything? Dude, these pets, man. These pets, dude. Arhi does get an Earth Elemental. Ascendance is getting used really early. And Iwashi is going to be able to catch himself a reset. Arhi, no healing available at this point. It's so high in dampening. 76% dampening. Barry can do much. You might as well pick up the eye. Look for the rogue if you can. I think that's the only way to go about it at this point. Has a trinket. Maybe a sunder and a stun for the rogue. But Iwashi is going into this duel with every offensive, every defensive, but a blind. So he has everything in his toolkit. Can he shout onto Argy? Does he choose to trinket it? I think it's over. He knows even if he trinkets, it's pretty much over. He can't give him the trinket right now. He has to wait until later. Gonna be Christina opening up onto your watch, trying to get the big bleeds down, going. With the thorns up and running, gonna be evasion for your watcher, but he's still taking a bit of damage from those dots. And whatever damage he does to himself with thorns. Cloaker Shadow is up. Does he get counter aggressive? It looks like he's trying to go for a bit of a reset with Christina. Gonna be a trinket for Christina. Bite onto Yawachi. Just trying to see if he can end the duel right then and there. Kit Kat rolling in versus Christina. And Pharaoh does at least get himself a bit of a reset. Kit Kat hanging out by the eye. They're on top of each other for a second. I think they know that they're on top of each other. They're freaked out for a moment. They're scattered. Oh. They're literally looking at each other. They know where the other one is, more or less. Or maybe Christina now is not sure anymore. For 20 minutes, finally picking up the eye. That's going to be Kit Kat getting the open to Christina. Pop himself Bark Skin immediately. 94% dampening. Thorns for Thorns. Christina getting the bash of Kit Kat. Trying to go for bites of his own. Christina needs to be very, very careful with those thorns damage. Going to be a wall for Christina early. Kit Kat going for a wall as well. Maim onto Christina. Skull bash by Christina and Convoke. Christina trying to Convoke himself. Going to be Kit Kat taking him out. Just got a little bit extra damage out onto Christina in that exchange. Getting that opener did help him out a little bit. And Kit Kat does have himself Frenzy, but at what is the dampening? 96%? Not getting any heals. Those dots are just going to melt him. And it's down to the Boomi, Zuni, and Kajix. With Rogue having Cloak Shadows, Evasion, Blind. I think Rogue wins this one, but maybe Zuni will come back on top. Maybe Zuni will somehow make a return. I believe in the cleave. But Kajix, dude, I think Fleshcraft basically ignores dampening. Honestly, I feel like it ignores dampener. Zuni at least got himself a reset. Yeah, I think the only way Zuni wins, you gotta get past the Rogue's Cloak of Shadows and then burst into him. And until then, he just gotta survive. Barkskin is gonna do maybe a bit here. Try to see if he can roar the Rogue. Getting the Rogue out of opener, out of stealth is gonna be very, very important though. And Zuni knows more or less what Kajix that hits him with the root from afar. If you can just rot him down with dots, he'll be in a great spot. Zuni actually will look to charge in. Sab by Kajix. No trinket for that one. Definitely not. Go road in the opener. Zuni might need to Thorns up as soon as he can, maybe. Thorns is up. And Kajix doesn't want to do much. Trying to go for Cyclone. Kajix just might have to get dotted, rotted. Zuni might just have to do that. Trying to get the dots. There's rolling. Blind. Trinket it out of it. Kajix could turn around with a stun. Going to be some damage onto Kajix. Some magic damage. And Zuni needs to get a trinket out of Kajix somehow. Get a shot onto Zuni. Does have a Bark Skin. Not in bear from, so it's super fortunate for him. Big Vendetta rolling by Kajix. Roar. Kajix trinkets out of him immediately. Maybe Zuni could go for a bash. Big go. Does Zuni have any healing at all? I think it's over. Yeah, if only Zuni had a bash after that Cloak of Shadows and he could have went for a big go Incarn, it would have been a great spot. Yo, that was actually awesome, awesome duel. Long one, but an awesome duel. I actually enjoyed that one a lot. Yeah, no healing. Сейчас нету healer. Yeah, when it's not 100% dampening, there's no healing whatsoever, boys.